What's going on, folks? This is me, LB, the realist with Surrealistic Studios, Surreal News, where the realists are real. Thank you for joining me on another segment. So, this segment is going to be about stimulus negotiations and what Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer had to say about stimulus negotiations and about the extra $600 a week in unemployment benefits that we were supposed to be receiving from the federal government. They recently, a few hours ago, had a meeting, or whatever you call it, where they talk to reporters and they give an update about what's going on with negotiations. And I just made a list here. It's going to be kind of hard because I'm spitballing, but at the same time, I have a list of certain points that I wanted to talk about. So bear with me as I get through these points, and I'll just kind of elaborate on what I'm thinking. So the first one I have is Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Oh, well, that's just the point, that they were actually the ones that held this meeting. Excuse me. All right. Republicans bring up essential workers. Okay, so this is one thing I wanted to talk about. The Republicans, Mitch McConnell, no, was it Mitch McConnell? Yeah, it was Mitch McConnell yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, came out and he said that basically he doesn't like the fact that essential workers are having to pay more in taxes to pay people like me, pay people that are receiving unemployment benefits to stay home. They're paying us more money than we would making at work to stay home because of a pandemic. And Mitch McConnell's point is that's not fair. It's funny that he thinks that this is not fair when the Republicans, to my knowledge, didn't want to give essential workers anything, any kind of money for being essential workers or for having to work during a pandemic, during a dangerous pandemic. It's to my understanding that the Trump administration wants to send children back to school, even though we're dealing with the second, potentially even still the first wave, or potentially even maybe this is the third wave. Who knows what wave we're on? But it makes no sense to me that Mitch McConnell would say, oh, now all of a sudden he's thinking about essential workers, but he wasn't thinking about essential workers when they actually had pay for essential workers in the Democrats' Heroes Act, the one that they said was dead on arrival. But now he wants to talk about essential workers. Okay, whatever. So Republicans recently offered a piecemeal deal, is what they called it, and basically said that they would attack, or basically give unemployment benefits for like a week or two, while they're still negotiating. Well, Democrats rejected this, and they called it a Band-Aid solution. And honestly, I do agree. I do agree that it's a Band-Aid solution. It's not really what we need at this time. We need a real comprehensive bill. We need something that's going to help and attack everything all at once. We don't need to piecemeal this. It doesn't make any sense to do that. Nancy Pelosi has something interesting to say. She had a few interesting things to say. Usually I'm not a Nancy Pelosi fan, but she is, or she has been correct on her thinking. So we've been in alignment in our way of thinking in regards to the $600 unemployment and stimulus and everything going on. So she said, don't nickel and dime our children, in regards to how the Republicans are saying that we're spending too much money and we're going to cause, massive inflation. We're going to cause, the debt ceiling is going to be too high. All of a sudden we're thinking about our economy when we just gave $5+ trillion to the biggest of the biggest corporations and people that are already wealthy. They're admitting that the pandemic made them even more wealthy, and we just keep giving them more and more money. This is one thing that I've noticed in life. The more money you have, the more money people want to give you. The less money you have, the less money people want to give you. I don't know why it works that way, but that's the reality. So Democrats are arguing for money for the state and local government, plus essential workers. Republicans seem to be opposed to this. The Democrats have been strongly insisting on a $600 a week in unemployment benefits, the increase. They've been strongly advocating for that $600. They're not backing off of it. They have not said a word about $500, $400, $300, $200, not one. They are strongly for the $600 in unemployment benefits. And I said in my last video, if it was up to me, I would increase it to $800. Because there's a lot of people that not only have they not received their unemployment benefits, about half of us haven't received their unemployment benefits, but a portion of us, the unemployment benefits that we do receive is still not enough. It's still not enough to suffice during this pandemic. So we have to help the American people. And I know that I don't want inflation. I don't want the dollar to weaken, even though it's been weakening all of this time. This isn't nothing new, you know, but at the same time, the people need to be helped. We have to find a happy medium, and we have to do something to continue spurring the economy. So yeah, the Democrats are not backing down on that. They made the point that they want to continue to lift people out of poverty, and I strongly agree with that because I am a prime example of a person who has been lifted out of poverty. Well, not that I've been lifted out of poverty, but this unemployment benefit has been a major help to me. I've been able to keep up with all my bills. You know, I've been able to make sure I have food in my belly, food in my household. I've been able to help people that needed help. It's been a huge blessing, and to snatch that away from so many Americans when so many of us haven't even received unemployment benefits is just nonsensical to me. They also said they want to continue the consumer spending going on in the economy, again, providing a boost to this hurting economy. If you snatch that away, you're going to hurt the economy more. This is not the time to, again, like Nancy said, to nickel and dime the American people, or to nickel and dime our children. Stopping the benefits will hurt the economy. Yes, most likely weaken the dollar. Yes, of course. But we have to help the people. Nancy Pelosi had something else to say. She said maybe employers should start paying more. Absolutely. Absolutely. During a pandemic, we have so many people that are making so much money. Elon Musk of Tesla and Jeff Bezos of Amazon is making all of this money, and they're paying the workers this much. Now, I believe recently Amazon has increased their pay to $15 an hour or more, I believe. But this needs to go all around. You know, one of the reasons that these people are able to make so much money is because they make it off the backs and the sweat and blood and tears of workers that earn slave wages. And that makes them make so much more money because they're only paying the workers this much. And that's not right. So more employers have to step up to the plate and do what's right for the American people. If you believe in America, you should believe in the American worker. Big businesses got free money. Of course, they got free money, but when it comes to money for the little guys such as me, when it comes to, you know, providing a step up for people that have never had a step up before, it's a huge issue, and it has to be eliminated completely. They had something interesting. They said Republicans didn't even have the money, they didn't even have the votes for a $200 a week unemployment extension, let alone a $600 a week. So this is one of the reasons why I believe the Democrats are strongly for the $600 a week, because they know that it doesn't matter if they want $600 or if they negotiated to $400 or maybe $300 or $200. The majority of the Republicans aren't going to vote for that either, apparently. That's what Nancy and Chuck are saying. Nancy Pelosi said, basically, we can pay now or we can pay later. Either we're going to take care of the situation now and take care of our people, or we're going to pay for this situation later. And it's going to be so much more worse if we wait and procrastinate, which the Republicans have done. You know, they made the point that Republicans had weeks in advance to get something done before the unemployment benefits, the eviction moratorium, before all of these things ran out. They had weeks to get it done, and they stalled. Mitch McConnell said they wanted to wait and see about what was going to happen with the initial stimulus money they were received, which I haven't received my first stimulus check. BTW, by the way. You know, a lot of people haven't. You know, a lot of people are not receiving the money and the help that they need. But we're talking about stopping these programs, and a lot of them have ended already. Unemployment has ended. The extra boost, I'm only able to survive because of California. They have an extension for us. You know, so we gotta help the American people. You know, we can pay now or we can pay later, is what Nancy said. She also said we're not having a short-term extension. So they are strongly opposed to a short-term extension. One of the reporters asked as they were walking off the stage, actually. And Nancy Pelosi actually made it a point to walk back over to the podium and say, we're not having a short-term extension. Then she walks back out. And then it ends. The interview ends after that. So they are strongly for $600 a week in unemployment benefits, and they are strongly against a short-term extension. Which I totally agree with. I totally agree. As long as something gets done, you can't hold the American people hostage forever. in regards to Republicans or Democrats. It's time to take care of the American people. This is, and again, like Nancy said, this is not the time to nickel and dime. Also, but one more thing I want to talk about before I end this video. Donald Trump, the president, actually had threatened to use executive action to provide stimulus checks and an eviction moratorium, or perhaps even an extension on unemployment benefits. So through executive action. So I don't know how that works. They asked Nancy Pelosi if he would have the power to do so. Nancy Pelosi admitted that he would actually have the power to extend an eviction moratorium, if anything, but maybe not so much hand out his own stimulus checks, because maybe that would be, too much of a power grab. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I just got into politics a few years ago. I'm still learning everything. Every day is a new learning experience. Every year, an election year, I just learn something new, and it's crazy, really. I'm learning so much. We are really living in the age of information, especially with these things here, these phones that you can look on Google and just check anything up. This computer right here that I have, it's amazing. The age of information and technology, folks. So this is what we got going on in regards to the stimulus negotiations and the $600 a week in unemployment benefits. They're still negotiating. It looks like the Democrats have an upper hand, but who knows what will happen. Hopefully they reach some kind of deal by today, tomorrow, which is Friday, before the weekend. If not, hopefully they'll have something passed by next week. Hopefully they'll have negotiations wrapped up by next week, is what I mean. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If I missed anything, please leave it down so other people can get the information that they need. Like this video, share, and subscribe, please. Subscribe to this channel. I'm going to try to give you continuous updates on what's going on with stimulus, what's going on with silver, what's going on with my life and Surrealistic Studios in general. So thank you again for watching, and click the links in the description if you want to support the show, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. If you want to buy a shirt, links in the description. Until next time, love, peace, and light, folks. I'm out.